Thank you everyone for being here. Before we get into that, let me tell you how I end up being here. I recently moved to Toronto. I got a new job here, and before coming here, I was working in Cambridge. So what did I do as soon as I moved here? I'm kind of hooked up to AI these days. I also have a degree in AI, but I never really paid much attention like 3 years back. But in like last 6 months, it's kind of booming a lot. So I kind of hooked up to a lot of new tools coming in. So as soon as I moved here, what I did, I opened my Claude and asked it, hey, can you check any problems that Toronto City is facing? And is there any data available online? That's the only thing I asked. It gave me two problems. The first one is obviously 401 traffic. And the second one, it mentioned something called 311 data. Do anyone know what's 311 service here? I think most of you might be knowing. I think it's only new for me. I only learned about it last month. So it's basically, for the folks who don't know, it's basically a non-emergency service that takes in requests across the GTA. Issues like potholes, snow, garbage, they kind of clear those issues. Now, it mentioned, hey, we have some data sets, open data sets that you can look into. I asked, okay, why not? Just go check it, find some insights, and let's check if we can solve any problems. And that's when, it gave me a full breakdown of the entire data, what kind of issues the residents of GT are going through, what kind of flags they're raising, and how those issues being resolved. And whatever you're going to see here today, it's the comprehensive analysis that's done by AI. And I'm going to show you some insights, what I found. All right. Already Alex introduced me. I'm Ravi. I'm currently working as a site lead for a tile manufacturing company here in North York. Apart from my job, I like to work on side projects, just out of niche, no goal to make money or anything. Currently, again, as I mentioned, I'm working on Toronto 311 Pattern Explorer, and I'm also working on 401 traffic issue. But again, I'll save that for next time. All right. As I mentioned, we have whatever the data that we have. It's kind of messy, hard to understand, and it's huge. We have like 500 lines of data that it's very impossible to understand with the naked eye. So I kind of pull everything into my system and then see like what kind of patterns or insights that we can find. Again, this is how the data looks like, and then this is where I found it from. But again, even before getting into the dashboard that I built or like the insights that we found, let's play a game. Let's play a guessing game and then see what kind of what you think and what the data is saying correct or not. All right. What issue do you think is topped in 311? Potholes, noise complaints, missed garbage, snow clearing. Any guesses? Noise, garbage. Again, this is a surprise for me too. You want to know the answer? Raccoons? No. It's potholes. Yes. Potholes is number one topped complaint in 311 queries. Let's go for the next question again. FYI, we have like 10 questions. Just to make it interactive, I kind of came up with these questions. All right. What month had the most complaints? This should be an easy one.
January.
There you go. January, yeah. All right, that's January because it's mostly winter and then snow. All right. Which ward reported the most complaints? We have downtown, Toronto, Danforth, Etobicoke.
Yeah. Etobicoke.
Etobicoke. Downtown? I thought the same too, but it's not downtown. It's actually Toronto, Danforth.
Ooh, we're number one.
All right. Again, this is an easy one. Which season generates the most complaints? Fall, winter, and summer. There you go. Okay. So now what percentage of the complaints they're fixed by the municipality of Toronto? What do you think? 30%, 40%, 60%, 78%?
70.
70? Okay. There you go. That's 78. Most of the complaints that we get through 311, they're fixed very frequently and then very soon too. All right. Which department handles most of the service requests? Solid waste, transportation, licensing. Transportation,
Licensing.
licensing. Okay, let's see. It's transportation. All right, we've noticed the top potholes are the most raised flags. How many? What's the count? You think? How many requests approximately we've got the pothole complaints? 5,000, 13,000, and 25,000. How many requests we got? How many? This data? It's only. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. It's only last 3 months, Jan to March 31st. Jan 1st. Whatever you're saying, it's last 3 months data. Sorry. It's Jan 1st to March 31st, 2026. 20,000?
1,000.
1,000? No, the option is 5,000, 13,000, and 25,000. It's 13,000, and that's the highest number of complaints we got for potholes. Okay, just roughly how many total requests we got in last 3 months, Jan to March? 50,000, 100,000, 150,000. There's no wrong answer. 100,000? Okay. It's actually close to 150,000. Again, I'm surprised too. That's a lot of complaints just in 3 months. All right. So that's the question that we have, but let's check the dashboard and then see some like what kind of information we can see in the dashboard and what solutions we can provide through it. All right, is it clear? Okay. Can everyone see it? All right, this is what the AI built the dashboard. And if you see, we had approximately just trying to take off my, okay, there you go. So for the folks who are not able to see, we had 146K complaints in just 3 months, and we had 516 unique request types. Do we know how many wards we have in GTA? 26, if you don't know. 45? Okay, I think it might. Okay, I might be wrong too. Okay, for some reason, I am not able to. I'm sorry, folks. There you go. If you see here, we have a category breakdown of what kind of service requests we're getting along with the count. Again, I'm sorry, it's not a bit clear. But if you see potholes is the number one, and the sidewalks now is the closest one to the potholes, and that's around 12,000 requests in last 3 months. And we have road plowing request, driveway blocked, residential bin. I think these are some common issues that all of us go through. And in terms of the city division, transportation gets most of the complaints and followed by solid waste management services. And if you see the distribution across the city, Toronto Danforth stands first, and then Devonport is in second spot, followed by East York, Eglinton, Lawrence. And this is by postal codes. M6H. I think it's Danforth. Again, this dashboard is pretty interactive. It lays out all the patterns. And guess which day we get most of the requests? Any guesses? Which day of the week we get most requests? Monday. There you go. That's when a lot of folks are out. And that's when they notice a lot of problems. And January happened to be the most registered service requests. And this is actually the raw data that the tool analyzed and kind of build this entire pattern explorer. I think, yeah, that's it. That's it from my side. But you have any questions, anything that you want to see, look here? Yes.
Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to questions. So we'll try to alternate between in-person and online. If you have a question online, please drop a Q in the chat, but we'll start in person. Does anybody have a question?
Yes.
Thank you for the presentation. Is there a way to figure out whether the complaints refer to the same potholes or?
No, so all these complaints that this recorded, they're unique. And how do we define whether it's unique or not? It's the time of creation. So each and every complaint that has a different time of creation. So that's how it defines whether it's unique or not. And it checks the complaint type, the request type, and the location. If these three doesn't match, it defines it as a unique request. But if there's any duplicates, it automatically removes the duplicates. Is that the question?
Yeah. I was just wondering if it's like on a map, if it would be possible to be viewed on a map. Like, let's say
Like a
this
map,
sidewalk is longer and problematic, and these many people complained about it. But
I think I don't have the map here, but I think it can be done. It can be done for sure.
Oh, this is cool. Thank you.
Any other questions in the room?
Thank you for doing this and making this, and love that your first instinct when landing in a place is how can I help? That's awesome. What do you feel was like the most interesting learning on your end? Like, what was the thing that like surprised you or kind of sparked your brain the most while working on this?
So it's definitely the problem types the city is going through and the opportunities. See, if the most raised flag is potholes, if someone who knows how to fix potholes, I think they can get a contract out of Toronto, city of Toronto. Or again, in terms of opportunities, I think there is a good room for folks who are willing to fix these problems and get something out of it. Is something that I learned from it.
Arishi, do we have any questions online?
Yes, we have a couple. Ben, you can ask a question.
Hello. So my understanding of this data set is that it has some limitations, like it only has a subset of the divisions in the city, and then also it's like a sample of the customer initiated requests. When you were using your tools to create this, did they flag them to you? Have you noticed them? Or like, how do you think that affects the conclusions you can draw?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? How did it flag it automatically or?
Yeah, so the data set description on the Open Data Portal talks about some of the limitations,
Yes.
given that it's only like 6 out of 45 city divisions, and it's a sample from the full 311 data set. So did the tools you used flag that to you? Like they said, there's limitations, here's what they are. And if that was something that came across when you were building it, like how do you feel that impacts what the conclusions you can draw?
So there is a data limitation, as in the data comes 1 month late. So that's the only limitation. So this data is only from Jan 1st to March 31st. And whatever the requests that fall in that time frame will be like available for us to analyze. But anything after that will be available in May. So that's the only limitation we have. But anything that falls in that time frame, everything is included in this analysis.
Hi. Pardon me. I was wondering, what tools did you use to build the dashboard?
I used Claude. Claude, it's a tool by Anthropic.
And then the layout, display, charts, and everything else, was that Claude as
Everything,
well?
everything,
Okay,
everything,
Alright.
everything is in Claude. Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Can you guys see that sticker?
So this dashboard, so the time frame is January to March 2026.
Yes.
Have you thought about sort of enhancing this dashboard to look at historical data, like prior to 2026, allowing you to do year-over-year comparisons? Is that something that
Yes.
you have thought about doing?
Yeah, that's something that I was thinking about too, but I only took the most recent available data and then just pull it and then check the analysis. But we can there's a scope for checking the patterns throughout the years and then fixing along too.
Hi, this is great. I was wondering if you could read out one of the insights. I'm curious. It's a bit washed out, so we can't read it, and I don't know my glasses. But I'd love to, as someone that spends a lot of time in insight design, I'd love to, if you could read that out, I would appreciate it.
So here are the top insights. The first one is winter road operations dominate the entire request. The top category is tree emergency cleanup. During the winter, it could be and the transportation and Etobicoke Lakeshore is the highest volume ward. And Jan 9th was the busiest day. That's when we recorded the highest number of complaints. And the status of this request, it's mostly completed. 78 of the 100% requests were marked completed in this data set.
Does it say that in the insight?
Yes, it's
Bring that up.
yeah, it says here status is mostly completed.
Thank you.
And the geography, it's mixed because we are finding the complaints across GTA. The geography is kind of mixed.
Hi. First of all, this looks so great. And I think the fact that the data is publicly available is really awesome. I'm curious if you can draw from the data the mean time to resolution for some of these issues. And I feel like that's an interesting data.
How fast they're solving
Yeah.
issues.
And
Yeah.
like, does it
Yes.
differ between like
Yes.
the
I
winter
think-
months, summer months, and all that stuff?
The limitation for the data set is only we can only find the creation time, but we don't have a visibility on when this problem is actually solved. But we do have a column that says status, whether it's pending or it's complete. That's the only two things that we can see. But
Okay.
we don't have visibility on when the service request is actually fixed.
So in the 10 questions you asked for, you said so in the 10 questions you asked for, you said they had over 150,000 requests. That's from January to March 2026. And out of that 150,000 requests, 70% were resolved. So I'm curious, the remaining 30%, the category of the ones that weren't able to be resolved, was it because of maybe limited resources or limited time, or they were to 30%, a large number of them were false reports in that sense, like they ended up being false reports by like false complaints?
It's a good question.
The question
So what's
was about for the queries that were not resolved, what was the reason for that? So yeah, go ahead.
So it's a good question. So I've noticed what kind of issues that were not resolved. So most of the issues that are not fallen under resolved A is basically trash can top is open, or like the trash is full. I mean, like they might have fixed, but then when I was doing this analysis, that might not reflect in the report that I pulled. That could be one reason. But only like in terms of the pattern, what issues are not resolved is mostly the snow issues where a plow truck is blocking the driveway, or the trash can issues where the top is open or like garbage is not clear. Or one more top service request that I noticed is the fall leaf removal, I guess. So these are some issues that are not like resolved in this report.
Any of them false, like false reports in the sense that there's a false code that says.
So the question there was, are any of them false reports?
False reports. Okay. The question is any of the data points are like false report? Again, unfortunately, that information is not recorded in this data that we have here. It's only says whether the request is filed or not, and then whether it's completed or not. That's the only thing that we can see.
Are there any other
Somebody is
questions?
frequently updating whether the information that we have, like the request that we get is false or not.
Are there any other questions online?
Yes, there are two more. I think NB has one. NB, would you like to ask a question? Or if not, I can just read that out. What's the quality of the data set and how difficult was it combining or normalizing different data sets?
So it's fairly easy to find the data set, and the data is pretty straightforward. It's not too complicated, and it's only one data set, and it's very easy to get it together and then do the analysis. If there is multiple data sets, in order to correlate and then see what kind of patterns we have versus we just have one data set, then just go through it. It was pretty straightforward and then pretty easy.
Okay, and Sahil, would you like to ask your question? Okay, I think I'll just read it out as well. How can this be presented to policymakers and given back to 311 to improve government response efficiency?
It's a good question. So this is all about prediction. So see the data, you do an analysis, and then you predict what could happen in coming months, and you can provide or you can deploy people who can fix these issues down the line through the government is something that we can do. But I think it's most of we can use this information to forecast what can possibly happen and have teams in place who can fix this.
Okay. And I think one last question very quickly is, could you share the website URL?
Oh, this is actually in my local host. I can share the file, like I can share the entire thing with you folks. If you have a platform where I can share, I can definitely share this with you all.
Netlify.
I think
Netlify to.
Yeah, sure.
Did you want to ask a question? I think we have time for one more question.
Sorry, you mentioned using one data set. So I was wondering where the data came from that let you make comparisons of like seasons and months if it's 3 months data for this data set.
So the data set that I got, it's pretty like straightforward, 3 months data in like one CSV.
Okay, let's give Raviteja a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you for the questions, everybody. And Raviteja will be around